7 different ways to make a ton of money. The only catch is that they are illegal. Now, warning, this is not a video giving you ideas to do illegal stuff, but more like a video to show you exactly what is illegal and what you shouldn't do and to stay away from it. Now again, these are not ideas. You're not supposed to do this. It's not GTA, it's real life. And if you do this stuff, you might be able to make 100K every single month, but the catch is you might go to jail for 30 years. So again, I highly don't recommend you try these methods at home, at your workplace, or anywhere where you're located on this earth, okay? Now, on top of that, I'm just trying to make sure I don't get sued by talking about this stuff, okay? Now, on top of that, in this video, I'm gonna break down 7 different ways, guys, to actually make money illegally, and I'm gonna show you guys the pros and the cons that people justify whenever doing these methods. So again, there are pros, there are cons, but at the end of the day, it is still illegal and you can still face consequences that might land you in jail. Now, if you guys don't know me, my name is Ty Bryson. I'm an accountant. I post videos on YouTube every single day. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you get notified. And on top of that, do me a favor, hit the like button. Really appreciate it. Helps the channel grow a ton, so thank you so much. And here's a question for you guys, right? By the way, answer honestly, okay? Comment down below and let me know this, okay? What happens if a guy approaches you and tells you like, hey, you know, or your friend tells you like, hey, you know, Tommy, Johnny, Jimmy, Billy, Zeke, you know, I've been doing this stuff for a long time now, and every time you make a package or delivery in an Uber, whatever you are, you get $10,000 every time you make a delivery. Now, you don't know what's in the delivery, but you know it's not gonna hurt anybody. Would you do the delivery even though you might face 30 years in prison if you get caught, okay? Now, my answer is this, okay? My answer is this. There's no way I would take any risk when it comes to landing myself in jail. I'm way too scared of that stuff. I don't think it's worth it at all. But I know some people out there that have gone to jail for 7 years for doing bad stuff just to make an extra, not 10,000, but just to make an extra $100, $200, $500. So again, what would you do? Comment down below, let me know. Would you take the risk, or would you say like, nah, not my market, bro, I'm good, I'll just stick to my regular job at McDonald's. I'm not about to go to jail for 30 years, okay? Comment down below and let me know. And before I tell you guys the 7 ways you can actually make money illegally, but a lot of money, I just want to clarify one thing, guys, okay? Honestly, I don't, by the way, it's my serious face, I don't recommend you doing this stuff, by the way, you know, because there's a lot of ways out there to make money legally, okay? So there's no reason and no real, like, you know, there's no satisfaction to this, okay? So you might make money legally, but you'll always have something over your head telling you like, hey, this is illegal, you're not supposed to do it. You might make money, but in reality, it's not worth the struggle, and it's not worth the consequences either. 1 day in jail for me is not worth anything, okay? I don't want to do anything like that. So there you go. That's my entire terms and conditions. So if you want to watch this video, continue on, but please don't try this at home. Now that we got that covered, let's go into the 7 ways to actually make money illegally. Number 1. Now, number 1 is actually tax evasion. Now, you might tell me, Tommy, no one does this, okay? You're fooling yourself. This is not real. Well, the answer is this. A lot of people out there, especially cash businesses, do this all the time where they report less money than they actually made and they save a lot of money on taxes. Now, you might say, Tommy, what's the pro, what's the con? The pro is this. When you say, for example, you made $100,000 this year, but it was cash, so the IRS can't track it, well, you say, hey, I only made $40,000, well, you only pay tax on that $40,000, meaning that you get to keep that $60,000 tax-free for yourself. Now, that sounds great, it sounds amazing, but the catch is this. The con is that if you want to go get an apartment or a real estate property, they probably won't accept you because you are reporting less money than just you make, so you can't really qualify for it, even though you're making enough money to actually justify actually trying to apply for that property or to rental, right? Now, here's another catch, okay? And the thing is this, if you get caught by the IRS, you will get a felony charge, which is insane. You also get up to 5 years in prison. Okay, insane. And if you are an individual, well, you get up to $250,000 fine. And on top of that, well, guess what? Guess what? The IRS actually charges you 20% more on the taxes you actually owe. And on top of that, let's not forget that if you are a business, a cash business doing this, well, you get a fine of up to $500,000. So again, by the way, Tommy, no one does this. You know, a lot of people I don't know. Okay, I don't know any of these people. A lot of people that I don't know, well, they work in barbershops and they report less money than they actually make on their taxes, and they make a ton of money, but when it's time to apply for a property, they can't do it because they don't report what they actually make. Thus, banks don't trust them because they don't make enough money on paper, but they make enough money off the books. So again, if you ask me, Tommy, is this worth it? The answer is no way, Jose. You don't want to mess with the IRS. You want to make sure you report everything. I'm scared, Uncle Sam, okay? Here you go, I'm scared. And you want to make sure you report everything that's actually going on, and that way, you reporting everything, you get more qualified for things that you actually want and want to get qualified for, like, you know, real estate, loans, credit cards, whatever it is. And on top of that, you're less worried about, like, hey, I might get audited, I might go to jail for doing something like this. So you want to avoid that at all costs. But if you have made a mistake in the past, don't worry, don't go crazy now, because if you made a mistake, it's no big deal. It's called negligence, and they won't really treat you with a felony and all that stuff. You probably have to pay a penalty, but it's no big deal there, just to clarify that. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, Tommy, number one, I probably know someone that does it, but what about number two? Well, number two is actually ATM fraud. Now, you might be thinking, Tommy, what do you mean by ATM fraud? You might be thinking, Tommy, is that when people put their cards in an ATM and then it reads them and they make a copy of it? Well, the answer is no. That's not what I'm talking about. Lately, everyone knows this, okay? Debit card companies, online banks have been offering reimbursements on ATM fees, right? Now, here's how this scam works. People out there, this is insane, by the way. People out there, they have multiple people make accounts with people and banks that actually, you know, that you reimbursements, and they set a really high subcharge fee on that ATM, meaning that the ATM might charge you $2, but they own the ATM, so they might say like, hey, let's make it $10. When you use the card, it'll charge you the $10, but your bank is going to reimburse you. Thus, the pro is this: every time someone uses the ATM, well, you get the money quick, 10 bucks or 20 bucks, whatever you want to set it to, and they get the money reimbursed back to the account. So in reality, the money is just being recycled over and over and over again. The con is this: if you get caught, that sounds very familiar to something called money laundering. So you might be getting a call by the FBI and you might have some explaining to do. But again, just to clarify, it's the act of using ATM reimbursements to use an ATM, get the money back, put the money back inside, use it again, get the money back, put it back inside, and then the person with the ATM gets to keep all those fees, okay? And if you own the ATM, you can probably do this too. But again, if you do this type of stuff, you might get a call from the FBI because it looks a lot like money laundering. So please, again, don't do any of this stuff. It's not legal, so please don't do it, okay? Now, number three is very similar to, you know, money laundering, because it is money laundering. So money laundering, you might have heard about it, is the act of when person A has a business and is making illegal money on the side, and they put that money into the business and create fake clients, and then they charge themselves money, just report it into taxes, and now that money is clean, okay? It's turning dirty money that's illegal to make into clean money, and now you can spend it. Now, here's the pro of doing this, okay? If you get like a cartel to actually, you know, run the money past your business and then you make a lot of money like that, well, you might make a lot of money, yes, and the money might be clean to spend, yes, but if you are a first-time offender, you get 1 year and a misdemeanor. But if you are a repeated offender, you actually get up to 35 years in prison, okay? Prison, I'm sorry about that. In prison, and on top of that, just to put it out there, guys, because you might say, Tommy, no one does this. Well, in reality, there are $1.5 trillion every single year in the United States of America laundered every single year. So again, a lot of people, they have cash businesses, they put money through it, expand the sales, but they don't really exist because it's cash business. Guess what? They clean the money, take it out, use it, and that's what they do. Again, please don't do this. The consequences are real. 35 years in prison is no joke, man. So stay away from this one, from all of them, okay? Now, number 4 is actually buying and reselling iCloud and stolen iPhones. Now, you might tell me, Tommy, that's not true. I know people out there that buy iPhones with iCloud all the time, and also on eBay they do it too. The answer is this: I'm pretty sure that's against eBay's policy, but they can't keep track of everything that's actually being put on the entire platform. So that's my understanding when it comes to that, but everywhere else, they don't really care about it. But I'll tell you right now why it's actually illegal. Imagine you buy a stolen phone. It's been reported stolen. You buy it for $100. It's an iPhone 11 Plus, right? Now, the thing is, if that person has Find My iPhone on and they report it to the cops and it's like, hey, my phone is over there, the cops come to you and you get caught with a stolen phone, you can't say like, hey, someone sold it to me, and they'll say like, hey, we don't care, you bought a stolen phone, you're in big trouble, sir. So the pro is this, okay? You might make a ton of money by buying and reselling stolen phones with iCloud, which is trust me, very lucrative. But the main thing is this: if you get caught, you might go to jail and you might face some charges for stealing, probably like petty theft. Okay, now you might tell me, Tommy, how do they get the iCloud off the phone? Well, I'll tell you right now, because it's happened to me in the past also, but I never fell for it. Now, in the past, I've lost an iPhone 7 Plus, I think, and when I lost this iPhone 7 Plus, of course it had iCloud on it, and every now and then, guys, I would get emails to my normal email addresses, not my iCloud email, saying like, hey, you know, we found your iPhone, just sign in and then we'll like we'll make sure it doesn't get stolen. You know, they say that all the time, and those are actually people that are 100% dedicated. By the way, listen to this, guys. There are people, networks out there that are 100% dedicated to tricking people to send it to your iCloud so you actually get the password and email, take it off the phone, and then unlock the phone. So for example, imagine you lose your phone, you get an email saying, or a text saying like, hey, by the way, they get your email and text from your phone just by plugging it in, and also when you send a text saying like, hey, I lost my phone, text on this number, well, they get it from there. They might text you saying like, hey, you know, sign in, we found your phone from an Apple number, right? When you sign into your iCloud and they attempt to sign in, well, now they try to use that email and password you used to sign into your iPhone, and they remove the password and the iCloud from it. And that's how you end up losing your iCloud locked phone. Okay, so there you go. You want to avoid that at all costs also. Now, number 5 is actually identity theft. Now, you might be telling me, Tommy, what do you know about identity theft, bro? You never gone through it. The answer is yes, I've gone through it once. When Equifax got hacked, well, someone hacked into my accounts, and you know, they tried to do some stuff, and a friend of mine also got a loan taken out of in his name in Florida. So I've gone through it from personal experience and also through my friends, so I know a little bit about this. Okay, but these are some of the most complicated criminals in the world. Why? Because they go on the dark web, they purchase your information, and then they say like, hey, you know, it doesn't really matter because even if we use their information, they're covered because it really wasn't them. So don't worry about it. We can justify it because in reality, we might get money from them, but it doesn't hurt them because they have identity theft liability protection. But in reality, it's still super illegal, so please don't do this at all. Now, the pro is this: you're able to grab somebody's identity from the dark web or buy it from someone else out there, and you make an ID. And then, by the way, if you're asking me how I know how to do this whole stuff, because I live in the Bronx and a lot of people talk about this stuff, I don't know anyone that does it, okay? But the main thing is this: here's what they do. They make an ID with their face and all your information on the other side, and they get a social security also. And guess what they do? They go into T-Mobile stores, Best Buy, and they use their credit card they took out under your name, and they use it, cash out, buy whatever they want, and then come out, okay? And then when you find out, well, it's kind of too late. It already happened. Now, you say, hey, that wasn't me. Here's the proof. I don't live in Canada. I live in New York. What are you talking about, okay? They say like, okay, no problem. It wasn't you. It was identity theft. Now let's block the entire thing and let's make sure it never happens again. Now, that's what I call liability protection, and that's why these people justify doing it all the time. But in reality, the real con is this: if you get caught for the first time, I think you get around 1 year and a misdemeanor. Now, if you get caught a second time, you get a felony and 7 years in prison, okay? Now, you want to make sure you don't do this at all, okay? Stealing somebody's identity is not cool whatsoever, and the risk is way too high. It's not worth it, okay? Just build up your own identity and then just like make money by yourself, honestly. But this is crazy. 7 years in prison for stealing somebody's identity and buying an iPhone is insane. Now, number 6 is a very common one out there, especially in my neighborhood and where I live, okay? People do this all the time, and you might know someone that does this all the time, and it might even happen to you in the past, and it's that some people out there, they claim other people's kids on their taxes, okay? It happens all the time, okay? Now, the pro is this: you get to claim somebody else's kid, so now you get 3K credits. Now you're balling for the entire month of January, which is great. But if you do get caught, the IRS will charge you 20% more of what you actually owe them. On top of that, they will give you 3 years in prison, up to 3 years in prison, and also a fine of up to $250,000. Okay, so in reality, people that do this all the time might say like, hey, it's not a big deal. But if you do get caught, bro, you might go to jail for 3 years, and you might get fined and also get an extra tax on top of what you already owe. So is it worth it? If you ask me, I'd rather just claim my own kids and people that actually dependent on me. So by the way, when it comes to the IRS, I'm an accountant, okay? I would never mess with these people. You know, you might get away once or twice, but when they audit the heck out of you, it's not gonna be worth it, okay? Just stay away from doing illegal things involving the IRS. These people are not a joke. They do this for a living and they will bring you down. So avoid doing this stuff at all costs. Now, number 7, you're probably wondering, tell me what's number 7 is the last one, probably the most craziest thing in the world. And the most craziest thing in the world is, well, you might try to take a piece of paper and write down everything I'm saying here and go ahead and try some of these things out. And the pro is you might get away with it, make 100K a month or something like that. And the con is you might go to jail and I might never get to see you again and you probably won't watch one of these videos again. So the thing is this, guys. Please, please, please don't try to do this at home. It's not what I recommend at all. Now, comment down below if you do want a video on the 7 best legal ways to actually make money, and a lot of money, okay? So comment down below if you want to watch that video. Now, guys, before I go, I just want to say one last thing here, guys, and it's this, okay? Movies, games like GTA, you know, narco movies, they make it seem like crime is so cool, it pays so much money, but in reality, you running away your entire life, having to hide everything, having to do all this fancy stuff to make sure you don't get caught, it is not worth it. The risk is way too high. It's not worth it. I recommend, honestly, just get a normal job, stick with your job, and just save your money, invest it, and try to multiply your income. Don't try to do any of this stuff, guys. As always, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. Really appreciate it, as always. And subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you get notified. On top of that, if you want to talk to me one-on-one, uno, just DM me on Instagram at Tommy Bryson. By the way, don't DM me on the safest ways to actually make this stuff happen. I'm not going to tell you, don't do this at all. Please don't do it. Now, if you want to watch more videos on how I make money on my income streams, watch this video right here. It is 1000% legal and it makes you real money, around like $15,000 to $11,000 every single month without having to worry about going to jail. And yes, I pay all my taxes, okay? And guys, as always, thank you guys for watching and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.